what I'm trying to do is just go through some key concepts in regards to profitability and things like that with social enterprises that they struggle with there as well. Okay. So the first thing I did is I looked up on Facebook Insights. Now, if you don't know this program, it's a free program where you can actually test the market and look at things there as well. When I put in social enterprise, I found out of the 1.5 to 2 million people in Brisbane, only 10,000 to 15,000 are actually interested in social enterprise, according to Facebook. Okay. Out of that, 78% is women. So if we look around the room tonight, looks like we're overrepresented of the men. Okay. But the world is changed by those that care, and those that care show up. So I think that's something that when we're looking at networking in the room there as well. Okay. So there's some other stats there, 78%, 49% married, and then when we're looking at job titles. So where do people that are interested in social enterprise work? They tend to be administrative services, management, sales, education, libraries, and production. Okay. So if you're looking at your business, if someone's going to come to your business because you're a social enterprise, that's the type of occupations that they're going to be looking at doing there as well. Okay. So the main thing that what I find in doing training and working with people that are looking at starting up a business, and they get this wonderful course, and they want to do it because that's what they love doing. Now that's probably the best option, but then you've got your okay option. This is what I've got to settle for. Okay. Then you've got your worst option is I need to do it. Now where it comes into is when you stress, you cannot learn. So when my students come in and they say, look, my English is no good, I say, it's not your English. Australians can't understand what I'm saying here. That's normal. But what we do is we go through a process where we make you aware of it, then we try and get you to understand it, and then we get to apply it. So we're not just going to make you start doing it from scratch. If you love what you do, you learn quicker because you're not as stressed. Okay? So if you're forcing yourself to do it, which is, it's an okay option, you may not be really interested if it's your worst option is, I need to do it. Okay? And this is particularly when it comes to startup. Does anyone know what they call an MVP, a minimum viable product? Have you heard that term? You know what it is? It's the worst incarnation of someone's dream. Okay? It's a product that you need to do because you can't improve something that doesn't exist. Okay? So when you think about it, you're starting this product and it is going to fail. It's not going to be a pass. It's not going to make it 50%. Okay? If you try and go through a lot of startup programs and things like that, or you get in an investor, you might get to an okay product. But you need to accept the fact that your reputation is then tied to that investor. So they might give you money, they come in and help you, but it comes with, you usually get a mentor or something like that, and they're coming in and they're using their experience, telling you what to do. Okay? So this is where you get frustrated, but then you get into the founder's trap, which is that you've invented this product to do this, they're trying to tell you to do this. Okay? If the two matches up and you get an investor that believes what you believe, and you're all working towards the same cause, and they're not going out of their way to help you, is the other thing, you're all going the same way, then you're going to be up the top. So you can put in your worst possible effort in that case and still be in the top third, still be 66, above 66%. Does that make sense to people? Okay. Now, how difficult do you think it is to try and get people to accept the fact that you have to basically go walking for 2 days with no electricity and those sort of things to set up a program and things like that? Okay? So this is where the model comes into it there as well. If you do what you love and you put in an okay effort, it's sustainable. Okay? So this is where a lot of people, they do what they love, but then they fall out of it. You go down the tree and you keep going down. So if you go, I don't know what I'm doing, yes, I'm going to keep going, but you still put in your worst effort, after you do that twice, you're basically going to start to fall down and you're in the middle. Okay, and this is something that you're passionate about. So you're going to accept that you want to be in the middle there, is the question. Okay? A lot of people talk about new innovation and things like that. Now this has been around since, I think, the 70s. The fusion of innovation. This is what Simon Sinek used to sell his ideas. Everyone know Simon Sinek? Yeah? The guys start with why. Okay? What he did was he just said, I believe this, I believe that. And early adopters picked it up and they went out and told everyone else. And they become evangelists for it. Okay? Where this matches up is that's an instructional design model up the top there. Okay? So something that trainers use when they write a training program. They start with why as well. When you know why, you know what to do. Early adopters just say, just tell me what to do and I can work out how to do it. Okay? Early majority say, look, just tell me how to do it. They're the ones that they're going to accept a mentor. Okay? So they're going to go, they need it to work. Okay? They need it to work. So they're in the lowest on the level. Okay? So this is where it has to work. So you have a responsibility to get it work for them. Okay? And then you've got the late majority, which are like, but what if this happens to me? What if this happens to me? What if this happens to me? Now when you're in a group training environment, you're doing one-to-many, those people, the late majority, are going to drive these ones here nuts. Okay? And you're going to look at talking to them and you're going to annoy them and they're going to keep interrupting and asking questions, or you're just going to talk to these people and these people from here on aren't going to get it. So what people tend to do, the inventors tend to go to the early adopters, get 5 of them, they call them foundation customers, and it's actually the early adopters that open it up to 5 different markets. Okay? And this is how they get traction. So when you hear them talk about that, they talk about the chasm, which you have to jump with momentum. It's more of a hump. Technology changes so quick that this 16% of the population is squeezing into here, and they don't know how to use any of the technology, let alone the generation before. So they take twice as long to train. So when people come and say, I'm doing something new, there's no point of reference for them, it's actually harder to get that up and running. Okay? Here's the model that I was talking about with David. Most productive industry in Australia by world standards is agribusiness. I think Neil will probably agree with that as well, he's got a lot of context in it. Okay? Education, international education here. It's above average. Australia is the 3rd largest provider of education to international students in the world. I mean, third only to the US and then the UK. And then there's Australia. Okay? But when you look at the least productive industries, retail, wholesale, manufacturing and transport. Who's got an idea for a business that is then you're making something or you need to retail? So that's the 3 least productive industries in Australia. So can you see one barrier initially that you're going to have to overcome if that's where your social enterprise is based on? Okay? So yes, you might care about it, but you need to get help from other people, and that's something to get through there as well, because there's probably a lot of people in the industry that aren't helping you. Okay? So that's what they have a lot of problem with it there as well. So you can see how all these things sort of relate there as well. But when we go to the next one and actually developing a product, you can see the model is actually reversed. If you're developing the product, you start with a what if. What if this happens? What are you going to do? You use the product to solve the solution. Okay? So then you work out, well, what does it cost you? Okay? Then when you go to the next one is, okay, so how do you do it? That's the place. Okay? It relates to Maslow's hierarchy of needs on this side as well. So in the needs base, you've got the physiological needs. Everyone deserves a good night's sleep. Let's put beds in a car park. That sounds like an easy idea, doesn't it, Norm? Okay? Yeah. Sounds like it's simple, but it's not easy. Okay? Regulation and everything else you've got to get over. Okay? From there, it's the price. Now, the actual value to the customer is how much of that product that they can use. How useful is it? Okay? The perceived value is you say, well, that's what my product's worth, it's worth $1,000. But if they come back and say, well, I only want to spend $500 on it, what they're telling you is they can only use 50% of your product. So rather than sending them away, how can you break your product down into smaller products or something like that? Looking at getting the customer, getting the sales and working on the repeat business. Then you can go into, well, what will customers pay extra for? Okay? They can only use 50% of your product. What are they going to pay for? What do they need? And this is where you ask the question and come from there as well. Okay? And that's what you promote. That's how you promote value to your customers. Okay? So when they talk about providing value to the customers, it needs to be from their perspective. Now, these are the 4 P's of marketing: product, place, price, and promotion. And you hear people talk about the 7 P's, which includes customer service. And the first step in customer service is the sales. Okay? So a lot of people, what they do is they tend to go straight from here to the sales process. Now, if you've got a weakness in any one of these three, any one of these four, your business will fail, 100%. Okay? It's why Maslow called them deficiency needs. Okay? This is the infinite games, they need to wait it out and everything else. Okay? Growth needs is what your Tony Robbins and all that sort of thing work. If you cover these and you don't have any weaknesses, so you can have 3 strengths and 1 weakness and your business is still going to fail. Okay, that's what the research has shown. So when you get into the sales process, here's the 5 steps in the sales process. Now what I say to people is when you see the Facebook post, are you just putting sales posts up all the time? Okay, this is the customer journey. You might hear it called that as well. Need recognition, okay? How do you put humanity into the sales process? Well, there's actually 5 types of empathy that match up with each of these sales processes. Cognitive empathy, that's your problem solving. Identifying the need, why do they need this problem? This is the problem that's going to fix. Okay. The next form of empathy is prospective empathy. What are they looking for? How do they feel? How does your customer feel? Okay. If you can put yourself in their shoes, see how they walk, and then that's how you advertise, they're going to go, wow, okay, that's going to get their interest. Then they start to evaluate. Here's where it comes into, do you seem to have sympathy or compassion? If they say, oh, you know, I do this, and you just go, well, everyone else does it, so if you want to do it, you need to do this. Okay, there's that word again. You're telling them what they need to do. You need to buy this. So you're giving them their worst option. Okay. Then you've got the purchase decision. Now, it should resonate. You say, oh, yeah, but if you did this, wouldn't you feel better? And they go, oh, yeah, I would feel better. You know? They're basically mirroring what you're doing. Okay. And then you've got the last one, they call it empathic joy. Now, whether they get the product from you or someone else, you should still be happy for them if the problem's been solved. Okay? If you sell them the product, but you're not really sure whether or not they're going to come back again, this is where you won't get this joy. Now, when you get the joy, that's going to encourage you to do it again. Okay? But for a lot of salespeople, the joy comes from just getting the sales. They're after the money. And we've spoken about this, when money's never your why, what you can do with the money is. Okay, so I say to these people, I've got a great job that pays $100,000 a year. What do you do when you go on holidays? Oh, I just go and sit by a pool and do nothing. It's like, okay, so you want to stop. Okay, so you can look up Daniel Siegel. It's got 5 types of empathy, and that's how you can relate it to the sales process, particularly if you're selling to people that are in need or you're providing services for people that are in need. Okay, it's about building trust with them there as well. Okay. Marketing is not revenue generating, but you can see how things have changed with a lot of social media and everything else that's gone on there as well. So you actually have to do twice as much marketing as what you had to do going back even sort of 10, 15 years ago. Okay? So you can see how this kind of matches up with the buyer behaviour. So you see a lot of people come along and do my free workshop, and that's like a demo, or you go and test drive the car. They're still looking to make a purchase decision, but it's more data driven. So they want the testimonials, they want to see how much success. They don't want to see a testimonial and say, yeah, I really enjoyed the course. They want to say, I did this course and then I went out in business and I made an extra $100,000 sales. They want the data there as well. If you sell it to them and it's not for them, if you sell us to Eskimos, chances are you're not going to get an upsell and you're not going to get repeat business. Okay? So you might think, oh yeah, you can do it, but if all you have is a hammer, everyone looks like a nut. Okay? So that's where it comes into, you need to be a little bit conscious of that there as well. Okay, so then it goes through to, next stage is getting testimonials, and then the people is the last one there as well. So in a needs-based sales, it still goes through all of that process there as well. So then we go, okay, well on this side, it's transcendence. What's the equivalent of business transcendence? That's basically, where do you go to from there? Okay? So where do you go through from there? You work on profit.